Tag Masters getting ready to roll here. We believe we're going to have, I think, about 22 drivers set to go. We'll give you the grid based on what we have in front of us here on the board. DJ Ortiz in the number 518 looking to go in the 22nd position alongside Sam Jordan in the number 33. Row number 10 starting 20th, Matthew Souza in the number 27 alongside Kenny Laughlin in the number 34. Row number 9, Stephen Clark on the outside in the 689. Is he going to be a starter or a no starter? I know I talked to him last night, and he said his ribs were killing him.
That's what his wife Dee Dee said today. I don't know really. I keep asking her for updates. I believe he's here. He didn't go out for morning warm-up. Dee Dee said that was to save his ribs and his body for the main event.
It's pretty slippery out here right now. It's not going to be near as aggressive on the body, so hopefully Stephen going to be able to get back out there on the number 689. Inside of that row will be the number 3, starting 17th. It's Mike Love. Row 8, Kurt Fisher on the number 601, starting in the 16th position, while on the inside of that row, starting 15th, the 52T of Michael Rhodes Jr. Into row number 7, Mike Hines alongside Tyler Monin. Hines in the number 68, Monin in the number 4. Row 6, the driver called number 99 on the outside of that row. All we have is the number for the driver starting in the 12th position. Inside of that row, David Pergandi, the Texan, in the number 608. Row 5, it'll be Paul Cooper in the number 27, starting 10th alongside Paul Jones in the number 67. Row 4 has Miguel Garcia in the number 79 alongside Tommy Veith in the number 48. Row 3, Donnie Cluck in the number 3 going to start 6th, while Dean Boyd in the number 610 will start in the 5th position. Let's look here at the top 2 rows. Those drivers in their carts right now. The motors are fired and coming up to temperature. Final trailer coming in here of carts left over from the event we just saw on track. It will be Scott Grenier on the outside in the number 7, starting in the 4th position, while on the inside in the number 155P, it's Hector Alvarez. Up front, these guys had an epic battle at the end of that pre-final. Scott Falcone and Robbie Mott going at it. It got aggressive. We got blocking. We got moves to the wall. It was right on the very edge of probably fisticuffs at the paddock. But the bottom line is it'll be your national number 1 driver, the top driver in Tag Masters in the country, Scott Falcone starting on the outside, but the veteran driver, Robbie Mott, so strong, so good anytime he comes to one of these major events. Robbie Mott in the number 15, starting on the pole position. We're going to see a good race here. It's going to be an 8-lap battle for the win here in Tag Master.
Guys, how about the pre-final we saw in this race yesterday? Robbie Mott steals the lead from Scott Falcone. He was that outside starter. We talked about it today. For some reason, the rain conditions, you're able to carry a little bit more speed on the outside. That inside line's having to get on the brakes quicker. Robbie Mott had the outside line yesterday, took the lead and ran away with the win. Now the roles are reversed. Falcone's on the outside. This could be a great chance for Falcone to get back and take the lead and the main event win.
Well, Falcone already showed his worth in that Tag Senior race when he was very strong in the wet, so there's another opportunity here for him to do it. It's not the torrential wet that we had before, but still a very slick racetrack, so the chassis setup is going to be very similar.
I agree. So we're going to see a great race here. Robbie Mott, big congratulations to him. And again, I've been in the business of making poor puns and bad jokes today. So how much comfort do you think Robbie Mott feels inside that seat of his, that RibTech seat? I bet he got a pretty good deal on that seat wherever he bought it from.
Well, that's the one key, folks. Comfort here is key, and obviously taking care of your ribs. And I personally myself, I have a RibTech in my seat back home. Robbie's whole product line, the RibTech seat, the RibTech Vest 4, the 4 Vest. I'm telling you, just great products to be able to make sure these drivers are safe and comfortable and don't get beaten up in the ribs, because that really is the softest spot of any of our karters around the world.
Absolutely, and on a street circuit in difficult conditions, let's not lose sight of that.
Absolutely. So just in case any of you don't understand, Rob did a pretty good job of explaining it. Robbie Mott, obviously the owner and creator of RibTech seats. He made the product after he injured himself back in the 80s racing and had to be back in the seat of a kart for a national event after cracking a few ribs. Engineered the RibTech seat, and here he is. And a lot of go-karts here this weekend have his product and rib vests and all kinds of good stuff. Chest protectors for young kids.
Yep.
Robbie's done a lot, I think, in the business of safety for kart racing. So he's done a lot for the safety. He's going to do a lot trying to win this race, but he's going to have a challenger in Scott Falcone on the outside of this front row to hold off for the win.
I particularly like the fact that these guys had a little dust up at the end of the pre-final. That kind of,
adds a little ingredient.
turns the volume up on this one, doesn't it, a little bit? Because Falcone had made a good outside-inside move coming through turn number 1 on the final lap. He definitely got a run on Robbie heading down to turn number 2, but Robbie came across from left to right, came across his bow to kind of make a statement saying, you know, you're not going to win this one. And it was perilously close to the two of the drivers getting together, either that or Falcone getting up in one of the hay bales to the right of the racetrack. In the end, cooler heads prevailed. Robbie Mott gets the win. Falcone drops back to second. I don't know if either will give an inch this time around.
Two very passionate guys. This is going to be a barn burner of a final here, guys. This is our penultimate race on the grid. Coming up next is our final race of the day and of the weekend. Stock Honda Light. We're going to see our superstars of the shifter kart world in that race. But coming up first, we have the Tag Masters.
Here they are, folks, rolling down over the start-finish line through that little left-right kink that leads down into turn number 1. And we will look to go green this time by, as Tony said, the penultimate race of the day. Tag Master, an 8-lap main event. Will it be the inside? They got a better run the last lap, and indeed they do. They get a good run. And in fact, Falcone's going to go all the way back to third, but is he going to try the move to second? He does.
Not really sure what Scott Falcone was doing there. It seemed as if he was, I don't know. Oh, there's the first of our problems.
I believe that's Veith around. I hate to say it.
That's the 610 of Dean Boyd, actually. Boyd goes around on the exit of turn number 1. But, folks, we are underway. They are already attached. Falcone going to attack immediately to the inside of turn number 4. Book it. Scott Falcone in the number 1. Immediately tacks in the 15 of Robbie Mott. Look at him rocking away here in the opening lap. Falcone.
You know, Rob. Oh, and we've been robbed of a fabulous race by an issue, a mechanical issue befallen Robbie Mott. Oh.
We're okay. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that. It's not a one-lap race. Folks, the checker flag getting flown there real quickly.
You know what? That's all right. And, you know, we can't give Matt Ackley too much grief because last year Maddie Yeager was the head flagger and she forgot to give the checkered flag to someone. That obviously is not as bad an offense as waving the checkered flag one lap in, but we're going to forget about it.
Let's jump back to the race as it happens right now. That battle, we said it, and you know what? Ken, you said it straight up. We were robbed of what could have been a great race-long battle. Something happened to Robbie Mott on the exit of turn number 6 coming out of the hairpin. We're going to see him, if he's still there, here, coming out of the corner. See where Robbie was able to get the cart to. There it is, parked to the side of the track.
That's too bad.
A mechanical issue for Robbie Mott on the opening lap. That battle we expected to see, we hoped to see, and we did our best to build up as much as we could.
Legitimately.
Legit, no doubt, with a lot of fact behind it. Boom, gone immediately.
Well, our Kart Racing Network television producer, Michael Scott Wright, he's always able to find us some good racing wherever it is, and we're going to call Scott Falcone at the front, but where the close racing is behind, we'll find that as well.
Well, you know, guys, I have something odd to throw in there, and this is going to sound unusual, but I feel bad a little bit for Scott Falcone because if you'll remember, in his tag senior race, his number 1 challenger Austin Osborne had issues and fell out of it, so he cruised to a victory, and now he's going to lose his number 1 challenger in Robbie Mott. So as bad as you can feel for a guy who's going to cruise to double victories,
True.
He loses his main challenge, and Scott doesn't sign up for these races for an easy run to the win. He wants to race and he wants to fight.
I'm sure he does. He would love to have had a race-long battle with Robbie, but it's not going to happen here today. But we are going to find some battles here as the rain starts to fall again. Rain definitely coming back aggressively here as we begin this second last race of the day. We do have some good racing, though. Paul Jones in the 67 and Matthew Souza in the 27 are in the middle of a good little fight. That's for fourth position. Look at this fight as they come across here. That's the 7 of Scott Grenier now running in second spot, but as they come across the line for you here, great shot from KRN. 4 drivers right together. That's Alvarez in the 155, Souza in the 27, Jones in the 67, and Kurt Fisher in the 601. A 4-driver battle for the final position on the podium.
Yeah, we've got 19 seconds between Scott Falcone and Scott Grenier. 7 seconds between Scott and that battle, but that battle, as you've just said, Rob, absolutely fabulous. Perhaps one of the best, closest battles that we've been calling today.
Alvarez trying to hold back a charging Matthew Souza.
And loses out. Nicely executed.
That was a great pass. Souza to the inside of turn number 4. Slide jobs it through in the number 27, and he'll take over that 3rd position. Alvarez in the 155 trying to stay in there, and Kurt Fisher in the 601's been able to get by Paul Jones. Fisher now up to 5th spot.
Well, the fish, as we were talking earlier on, the fish out of water with the fish in water, but whatever you say, those weak cliches, He's a good driver, and he's showing that again, and that was a nice move. Hector Alvarez dropping a place. Now is that to Miguel Garcia? Yes, it is. Miguel Garcia picking up a place, going up from 8th to 7th.
67 of Paul Jones. We're watching that battle there down to turn number 2. That's Jones in 4th and Fisher in the lead as they come out of turn number 2 here. Fisher in the yellow rain suit, the number 601 CRG. That's the driver currently running in the 4th spot.
Black flag for Dean Boyd in kart 610. Just gone up into 13th place, but picking up a black flag. I don't know the reason, but he's out of the race.
So
Tommy Veith's trying to repair the damage of the problems earlier on, getting up into 9th place now, 21 seconds off the flying Scott Falcone. No, it was 21 seconds off the guy behind, wasn't it? Scott Grenier still the number 2 guy, but Matthew Souza getting that little bit closer, but that's a relative expression because he's 3 seconds or 2.4 seconds behind Scott Grenier, but then that lovely battle that we saw just got itself a little bit more spread now.
Just past the halfway point here, guys, as Scott Falcone now gets to lap 6, 2 to go. We're going to see, look at that margin. Right now it reads 1 lap, but it's over 39 seconds from first back to second.
Scott Falcone is showing me a lot here this week, and I'll tell you that right now. His ability to run these quick laps in the rain, I don't want to say I'm overly surprised. It would sound condescending, but wow, that's pretty impressive. He's turned amazing laps here.
Yeah, there's something about it, the ability, even in these circumstances, which are, he's not got the pressure of his closest rival. We know about the characteristics of the circuit, but he's still good enough to bang in those times.
But you know what? That, again, speaks volumes to how much he is committed to and how passionate he is of the sport of karting. Here's a guy that is a top 10 driver in the country running in the Masters categories. And going to the Worlds in NOLA Motorsports Park for the Rotax program, he decides to redo the way he drives a go-kart by going and sitting down with Ben Cooper, taking a school with Ben Cooper to change the way he drives.
Yeah.
Because he thought he could be better if he could drive different. Like
excellent attitude. Going up north to Canada to do that,
to
was it?
Mont Tremblant, yep. White flag now flying, folks. Last lap here for the drivers in our Tag Master category. Scott Falcone leading by a ton as he comes through turn number 2. He's going to go down the inside, I believe, the 48 of Tommy Veith. So Veith running in 8th place. Falcone's lapped up to 8th position right now closing on the 79 of Miguel Garcia. Just a clinic in rain racing today for the number 1 of Scott Falcone, and really putting an exclamation mark on the reason why he has that national number 1 on the side of his car.
Yes, I'm number 1 for a reason.
Here he is, folks, coming around the last couple corners. Back-to-back wins in Tag Senior and Tag Master, Scott Falcone.
Oh, and throwing us a little bit of a broadside and a drift.
Little freestyle there at the end for Falcone as he had the car slipping and sliding. A great day here for Scott Falcone as he wins. But as you said, Tony, you made a great point. Both of his primary contenders, though, going by the wayside,
right,
really before the race could begin.
Right, so as bad as you can